So here we have Adelina's chart, a 4-6 generator, split definition. Actually, it's the same incarnation cross as Richard Rudd, which is pretty cool. Also 4-6 with these four gene keys, and we can see a lot of activations here in the head and in the ajna, in the throat. And then we have a split. That means that these centers up here are not connected to the two centers on the bottom. And knowing that we are speaking about a generator where the sacral chakra is the main chakra, we know how important it is to live from these chakras, like a treasure box. And every time you do something, it's like you give out a coin and you want to make sure that that you get something back. If you buy something, there is a return. So that's where it's so important for you how you use your energy, since you are a generator. We can see that you don't have an activated or a defined emotional center or a defined splenic center, which means that you know your truth in the flow. You respond to life in the moment. You often know if you're in your body, if you feel grounded in your body, in your breath, in your life force, in your sexuality, and everything that is the physical for you. You actually know what's right for you in the moment. It's important for you to find your stillness in order to be able to feel that. It's important for you to feel your inner rhythms in order to be able to be grounded. You have an ability to really focus on something and kind of be still and get it done. And this is something that also helps you to be grounded and to be, to actually put your roots down. There is a bit of a risk when there is a split where you could kind of function from everything. It's like an amazing superpower that you have the throat, the ajna, and the head center activated. That is a superpower that can only work once you do what I just said, because you are a generator, so you need to be grounded. You need to respond to life from that place of your groundedness and your physical presence, I would say. So once you do that, the superpower has to do with creative expression, like to be able to say things that have never been said, to have those kinds of epiphanies and insights, and to make sure that you are in the right environment so that you can say them. Because if you are in the wrong environment, you could be seen as a freak instead of a genius. And we can see that in the open heart center and the completely open ego center, that it's so important for you to be in that right environment, because you take in a lot. And the not self of the open G is like looking on the outside for direction, for identity, for love. And the open G center in the open will center in the not self is about proving yourself to others. So it's very important for you to be in a place that and with people that are good for you, in order for you to be able to express your truth and your spontaneity and your talents, and also your storytelling. I feel like there's a strong storytelling that comes out of your own experiences of confusion and of doubt, and from your imagination and your ability to see patterns that for other people are just like patterns, but you can see the overarching, the big perspective, the whole geometry of things, and you're here to express that. That's part of your talent, and that's part of your storytelling. It's like you are sharing about this from your heart. It's like it's that kind of sharing. The 33, let's see where you have the 33. It's in your Venus. Yeah, so it's completely a feminine storytelling, a shamanic storytelling, a sixth line. And in order for you to be able to do that, you also need to retreat, and that goes together with your fourth line personality. You need time for yourself, and you need time with others, and it's important for you to have both, and to serve yourself, because through serving yourself you also serve others, and then you can come back out in life in experiences, and you can share your experiences from that feminine storytelling. You also have a lot of the 57, which is about intuition, about feminine intuition and flow. You have it in your in the second line. So flow and intuition, and it is in the actually masculine archetypes of Mars and Jupiter, and it's a conjunction. So that's part of your law. That's part of your drive. You need to listen to your intuition. You need to come back to your gut feeling, to your body, to what feels right in on a cellular level, what sounds right for your intuition, and then you're able to express, you're able to understand, you're able to get the inspiration uh, for things that are not really even here yet. um, and it's important for you to not hold on to things that are not good for you. So if something lingers in your life, ask yourself, is this good for me physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually? And to be aware of that, a lot of the distorted emotions that you can feel in the world and out there, whether it's turbulence, dishonor, weakness, conflict, victimization, reaction, or desire, you're here to see that. You're here to be aware of that. That's part probably of the abstract patterns that you can see in people, the discernment of what is love and what is emotions, and also the drama isn't love. It's like it's a human way in 3D that we sometimes confuse it, but there is like a kind of purity, a kind of ability for you to see what true direction and true love and like the purity of things, and that many things that you might feel in your life that might move through you are just there to move through you. It's not really you. So that's also why it's important for you to be by yourself sometimes and just let all these things, like, shake them off so that you know what is you. You're also, yeah, you have that, you take in a lot, and then you have a consistent way of processing things in your mind and to come to conclusions, and that for you on that pathway of understanding, there is some doubt, there is some confusion, but there is also, like I said, a lot of inquiry, a lot of inspiration, and a lot of imagination. So if we continue and look at your gene keys, we see that you're a 4-6, that you're here to share from your heart, that you're here to serve the world through doing what you love, and that your biggest challenge can be a kind of anxiety that happens when you don't dare to live with an open heart. So you want to break out of that anxiety by actually looking at your life and see that some of the problems or issues that you are worried about, that they are actually not that big when you come back to your heart. So for you as a 4th line personality in your sphere evolution, you want to come back to your heart, and that come back to your breath, come back to your intuition, and that will take you out of anxiety. That's also going to help you to break through to your soul yearning, that big vision, and to choose the right community, the right people in your life that can nurture that vision, and that can make you ground in your stillness, in your patience, in your cellular intelligence. You can basically probably even feel the cells of other people if they are interference or if they are in harmony. You have, like, that intuition that I was speaking about is so important for you. However, if you would live your activation sequence in a low frequency, it's like you would actually doubt yourself. You would be confused about what it is to serve yourself and what it is to serve others. You would be challenged in that confusion of, like, what is it really to, can I really do what I love and live on that? And somehow there would be a kind of impatience in that too, in that doubt, like, you might be thinking maybe it can't happen now, it can help, it can happen further on. Like, there would be a certain confusion where time is an aspect of it, and this would lead to kind of agitation and anxiety for you. And then in your relationships, there wouldn't be nurturing, and there wouldn't be a nurturing of yourself. There could even be a bit of like a hard way of being with yourself. And in that hard way of being with yourself, you're not finding core stability, you're not finding inner strength, and there is a kind of impatience, feeling like it can't happen, like that vision that you have of your life and about the life in a big sense, it's not what you see. And that in a relationship can create kind of like a kind of greed and manipulation and entrapment, and people trying to use each other. That's what you can see around you in your relationships, and that is going to put you in unease, and again, not make you trust your intuition. instead of like understanding that you're coming back to your intuition is the solution. And that can also lead to kind of feeling like you're failing, or shame, and like an intolerance that is both you with other people or other people towards you, because there is a kind of lack of clarity, and then there is an intolerance instead. There's no understanding, and then this thing goes round and round and round and round. But what we want you to do is to do what you love, and know that when you do that, when you share about that, when you externalize that, that is going to serve the world. And then actually when you do what you love and when you serve yourself, you are actually going to find love and community. It's going to come to you. You don't need to do anything. Everything is in your network. Everything you can ever wish for is like a phone call away. And that is going to start becoming clear to you. You're going to be in your own inquiry about your own truth, in your own imagination, what the next thing is, kind of. And then you do come into your true adventure, where you have relationships and people and community that nurture that vision. And suddenly you feel stable, you feel anchored, you feel like your roots can go down, and you feel a new kind of stillness and patience and rhythm inside of you, like you are in sync with the world and with your natural rhythms. And suddenly your relationships become very sensual and very interesting and very masterful, and like a lot of things can be created in relationship, and there is an aspiration together with other people. And suddenly there is new understanding and a new humor of things that before looked like failures, and you can start in your vocation to use that understanding, and even to like kind of use it like dynamism and strategy of doing things in a way, because you learned so much from the past, and you are this person where people come to and kind of tell you the story about your life that you were in before, but suddenly you can kind of laugh and be like, I've been there. And you can give them just basically this one sentence that unlocks everything for them, and that like creates the illumination for them. So it's really that serving the world through having served yourself first. And it's a very, I mean, you have a very strong profile in many ways. And as with all profiles, in the shadow frequency, it can really be difficult. And in the higher frequency, it's so amazing. And and I can really see, that storytelling is important. But if it only comes from your mind, the stories, then they're actually going to be a trap for you. They need to come from an embodied place. You need to be able to sit with your unease in situation where emotions get triggered, and to be with that. And you want to be able for your inner child to give your inner child a kind of sense of being your own role model. If you didn't have role models as a child, your inner child needs to kind of feel safe, and that there are role models with integrity out there in the world, and that you are one of them. And one of the main qualities of that kind of avatar, of that kind of inner mentor, it's innovation for you. So it's like, even when it is chaotic, there is a place where you can see the abstract patterns in it, and go outside of the chaos and start to innovate from there. That's really important for you. And you're strong in partnerships. Even if you need community, you're really strong in partnerships, because together with another person, discernment is really easy for you. And you guys can, with another person, you can kind of see what works and what doesn't work, and do things better. So this is something that you can also use in a business sense. Work with strong partnership with one other person, where you kind of, you discern together and you build together. And this, yeah, it's a lot of things coming through, but I feel like, this is really kind of the foundation that you might just feel into, if it's correct for you. And again, I would love to hear, of course, your experience, and if this resonated. Thank you.